This story may not be, I think I remember it almost crystal clear in my mind. This is how the story went, and this is what I tell everyone when they ask me how I started running. We were sitting, me and my parents and my family were sitting at the dinner table after dinner one night, and hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the video. Before we jump into today's video, I just say, I hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about the East Coast Youth Invitational Meet recap. I really hope you enjoyed listening to me recap the 3,000 meters, the 800 meters, and the 200 meters. Once again, the 200 was definitely a surprise in that one. I was not expecting that 200, but I really did have a lot of fun recapping the 3,000, the 200, and the 800 for you guys. Once again, our guest speaker, Catherine, had a huge breakthrough that day. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to everyone who ran this meet. This was a difficult meet. I mean, everyone from the East Coast came up to Boston at the Reggie Lewis Track and Field Center to run all these races with us. So, thank you to everyone who came up. It was great competition, and I really had a lot of fun with it. So I hope you enjoyed that. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the intro, and now we'll do into our second block of the intro, the today's video. So in today's video, this video is kind of going to be a blast from the past a little bit. So I know I've done a lot of meet recaps for you guys, and you guys have seen me talk about the fast paces and the fast times and the winnings, and that probably got many of you thinking, where did he start out with all this stuff? Did he just start out winning all these races all the time, or did he actually start out with small gains, a small amount of distance, and he just build and build and build over years? I'm going to tell you right now, the first one was not that. I did not just walk out my door one morning and just start winning the races. This has been a process that I think has taken me about 3 years. This year has actually been my third consecutive year of running every single day, running at least 1 mile every single day outside. So this has been a long, grueling, and painful, sometimes painfully hard process. But I am here today to tell you guys, from the day I started, which was how I got started with running, to now, where I am, over 3 years of consecutively running 1 mile every single day. So we'll be starting back all the way in February of 2019, on February 18th, when I first found out about this, this list that made me start running, all the way up until today, the time you see me, the time I'm filming this for you guys, about how I've told you about all the winnings and the races and everything else. So I'll be telling you guys about the races that I've done over the years, the different progressions I've done over the years, and so many different gains that I've made to get myself to where I am today. So that's probably all I have to say for that. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this intro of the video, and now I'll do into our first block of the video, how I went from February 2018th of 2019 to I think it's March 3rd March 5th of the time I'm filming this for you guys of 2022. Alright guys, this first block of the video, we're going to be talking about how I got from February 18th of 2019 to now when I'm filming this for you guys on March 5th of 2022. So if this story may not be, I think I remember it almost crystal clear in my mind. This is how the story went, and this is what I tell everyone when they ask me how I started running. We were sitting, me and my parents and my family were sitting at the dinner table after dinner one night, and my dad, who has been, my dad was a runner way before I was. He had like a 3-year streak of running 1 mile consecutively every single day. And I didn't really think much of it because, I wasn't really interested in it back then. I didn't really have much enthusiasm to actually do it. He pulls up the list and asks me, would you like to try doing this? And I thought to myself, I don't know. I mean, this may not go very well. I'm not super into it, but I said yes. And it would result in probably one of the greatest decisions of my life. Because that is the only reason I am here right now saying the story for you guys. So I said yes, and the next day, after school and everything, I think I hopped on the treadmill and I ran a mile. Now, mind you, I had never run a mile, I had never run a real mile in my life until up to this point. So the fact for me to think about, oh my God, running 1 mile every single day was quite daunting. Nowadays, that's not very daunting because I run more than 1 mile every single day now. Or sometimes, but sometimes not. Sometimes, most of the time, I run more than 1 mile every single day. But back then, it was pretty daunting. I ran that mile, and I think my time was like 11 something, and my pace was like 11:30, which now would feel like almost walking. But then it was actually a pretty good time for me. I had never run a mile really in my life before. I didn't do much I didn't do much running at all at that point. I had never even thought about track and field. So yeah, it's just crazy. We get about a week in, and I started actually start liking it a little bit. It starts to become more fun. It starts to become I start to get a little bit better. I still feel like nothing is happening, but I know I can hear my dad say to me every single day, something will happen. You will have your moments where it just all clicks, but you just have to wait for that. It's not going to come immediately. You just have to wait for that moment where it all clicks together and you just take off with it. We get about a month in, and that was a huge milestone for me because I had run a month consecutively at that point. Again, now that's not really a huge milestone for me because I run every single day now. But back then, a month of nonstop running was like one of the greatest accomplishments ever for me. I was so proud of it, and I was just really happy for it. I think it was about April or May, and we entered my first race after me trying to compete in my 1 mile every single day. I think this race was actually the Groton Road Race 5K, and that 5K, I think I ran about, if I'm not mistaken, I think I ran about 31, mid 31s to high 31s, maybe even below like 31:30, but I think it was above 31:30, mid 31s to high 31s. I think that pace was about, I don't even know, I think it was about 9 or 10 minute miling, and that was, I think it was about 9:30 miling actually. But that was pretty good for me at that point. I had never really I had never really run a 5K before. That was kind of my first 5K. I had a lot of stops in that 5K. But after that 5K, I started to think like this could start going somewhere. Like again, it wasn't going anywhere now, but again, I feel like I and everyone else started to think that like this could be going somewhere and I could have some success with this. You fast forward a few more months into the summer months and we start increasing my mileage a little bit. Now, this isn't anything big. I think my miles at the end of the summer were about 3 to 5 for I think about 5 for my long runs and then about 3 miles. Actually, no, 5 wasn't even my long runs yet, but I think it was about 3 to 4 miles is my long run. Now that seems like a very short run, but back then, I think my runs were about 3 to 4 miles. That was my long run. I think my short run was about 1.5 to 2 miles a day. But yeah, so we fast forward into those summer months, into the fall months. Now I'm starting to really get accustomed to it and start like cranking out, the miles again, with it. I start to increase my pace a little bit. My pace drops I think my racing pace dropped to from 9:30s just a few months earlier to about 8:15s or 8:30s by, I think mid-November when my long run had increased to probably, I think it was the Philadelphia 8K, which is a 5 miler. That was my longest run ever. So I was super proud of that run because I had run, I think it was 8:30s the entire way for 5 miles. And 5 miles, I mean, that was a lot of distance for me. That's a lot of distance for me now. So, I mean, 5 miles back then, that was so long for me. I was so proud of that. If you fast forward a little bit farther, you get to the first 10K we ran. I think it was the first run 10K in 2020, right after New Year's Eve. So on New Year's Day, we ran the first run 10K, and that one was super hard for me. I had really had trouble with breathing back then, so my breathing hadn't really gotten accustomed to it back then. So it was super hard. But that 10K was also the longest run I had ever run. So I was getting really like proud of myself for doing this because I was finally actually clicking some stuff. And if you guys and you guys know I posted all these Fudgicle videos for you guys, all these Fudgicle recaps. That was actually also the first year I ever ran the Fudgicle. That was actually the first year I joined Greater Lowell in the winter of 2020 to get better. And yeah, so I had that was the first year I had ever run all 7 Fudgicles plus the twosome and had joined Joe. Then we get to the first year, and February 18th of 2020, one of the biggest milestones to this day still I have ever had in my running career ever. Or my youth running career. It was so big, and everyone was so happy about it because I started to think like, oh my God, this is actually getting somewhere. Like a year ago today, I thought that I would never get anywhere. Now I'm starting to think that I can go places with this, and this is going to make me a better person and runner overall. Then you start getting into the youth meets that we started to run. And then after those youth meets, I did pretty well in those youth meets. After those youth meets, then it became COVID time, and this is where the gains really started to become made. Once COVID hit, we started to up my mileage a little bit, and this is when we started to decide, I think it was about, yeah, it was probably a little bit later in the year that we decided we're going to run our first half marathon. So leading up to, we hadn't figured that out yet, but we had run, we're running now alone a lot. I think my mileage had bumped up to about 6 or 7 miles for my long run. Maybe in the late summers, I think it was about 8 miles. But then we get to the fall, and we're starting to think about running a half marathon. Now, today, I would not do that because I'm much more involved in the youth meets and I don't have time to train for a half marathon. But back then, we started to think about a half marathon in, I think it was the spring of 2021, my first ever half marathon. Actually, no, that wasn't my first ever half marathon. My first ever half marathon was actually the Bay State half marathon. So we had started building my mileage actually a ton that summer. I think my long runs had increased to about 10 to 12 miles that summer by the end, and through the fall we started to increase, about 10 miles, and then through the fall we started to increase about 12 miles, and then we get to the half marathon, along with doing all these other cross-country meets that also made me super ready for that half marathon, and that half marathon was I think that was probably the biggest milestone I ever had, because that was the longest distance I had run. That was double the distance I had run 9 months earlier probably. So it was so big for me to run the half marathon because it gave me now so much experience, and it was the half marathon. Like, who would have ever thought that on February 18th of 2019 that I'd be doing a half marathon less than 2 years later? So it was so happy. We finished up the cross-country season, and then we got to the winter season of 2021. Again, this was the season where COVID was still happening, so we still made pretty big gains. And we started to think about running our next half marathon, which would be the cheap half marathon. Again, I'm probably going to do a recap on that and the basic half marathon. If you guys would like to hear that, comment down in the live chat below. But we started to think about that half marathon, and we started to train really big for that. We didn't get much speed work in, actually, which is really surprising depending on my results for the half marathon. But we started to build my mileage to about, I think my highest mileage up to that point was about 14 miles, which was a lot, especially in those cold winter months where it was just a grind through, and you just had to grind through all those hard miles. We get to that half marathon, and my results were pretty decent. I was actually super happy with those results. I had actually broken the American half marathon 10-year-old boys record, which was I was so happy about that because that was even like a bigger milestone than Bay State, because it was the first ever real good performance I ever had. You get to the summer of 2021, and this is where it all starts to click. All the training that has been done over the past few years and all the hard work that I have done finally starts to click. We get to those summer months, and the meets start rolling around. Gordon College, CLCF. I have done all these. I will link all these down in the description below. I have done Gordon College, CLCF, Summer Showdown, Needham, and then Junior Olympics. This summer was the summer that really clicked for me, but the real time that really clicked for me was July. It was so, Junior Olympics was the part that I was so impressed with, because that finally told me, like, you have the potential to go really, really far in this running of yours. You don't just have the potential to go, you don't just have the potential to get good. You have the potential to do really big things, and as long as you stay healthy, this can go really big places. We finish up that summer into the fall, and now this is time where all the cross-country meets start rolling around. Again, it's all just clicking into place. It's finally clicking into place, and I'm like, finally, I have somewhere to go with this running stuff, and I have finally somewhere to think about going with all this. Get into those cross-country meets. Those early cross-country meets were good, and then we get to Bay State, and we run the half marathon relay, and that, again, I think that was probably one of my biggest milestones the entire fall. That milestone was ginormous. Me and my dad almost broke the course record on that Bay State course, and this year we're actually going for that course record. The recap on that coming out way later months, all into the fall. But me and my dad actually almost broke the course record on that. So that was also a big milestone. Fast forward a few more cross-country meets. We go through Nashua associations, regionals, and then we finally get to nationals. This was the place where I thought, I thought to myself, you have the potential to double up on your gold medals from Jacksonville. That didn't end up happening. I will link that down in the description below. 11th place did not get me the gold medal. But still, I mean, if 11th place can be my worst placing in cross country, I'm pretty happy with that. If I can finish top 15 in any national race, I am extremely happy with that. I mean, I got a medal. So that's really what I came here for. The first goal was obviously to win gold, but the second goal was to win the medal. So that was all that I really needed. We get past 2021 and into 2022. Now, this is where everything's really, really starts to just carry on into where I am now. Fudgicle, so you get to early January, about January 11th, this is the first Fudgicle. Now, these Fudgicles were very much a surprise for every single week. It was always a surprise. I will link all the Fudgicles down in the description below. All the meet recaps I had mentioned in this video, I will link down in the description below. But we got to Fudgicles, and after those Fudgicle series, I have confidence from those Fudgicle series now, and I'm really hoping that when it comes to nationals in a few weeks, I can really deliver and get myself there. I don't know what time this is actually going up for you guys the week of nationals, but I'm filming it about 2 weeks in advance, I think, maybe even a week in advance. So yeah, but we get past those Fudgicle series, and that kind of brings me where I am today. You guys can just see that we've gone through basically all the races and all the training that happened through that time span, and just insane. I cannot believe that I started out here with this tiny amount of running, and now I'm here with this just gigantic, resume. I just can't believe that, this is, within 3 years, I have done all that I have done, and I'm just so grateful that this actually happened to me. So that kind of brings me where I am today, and that's probably going to do it up for this block. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the video, and now let's get into our second block of the video, reviewing basically what we just said about me getting from where I was then to me getting to where I am now. Alright guys, in the second and final block of the video, we're going to be reviewing or recapping what all we just said about how this young boy back in 2019 who really didn't have any aspirations to do anything whatsoever about track and field, to now me just being here actually, I never would have been in track and field. I never would have had any aspiration to be in track and field. That also never would have led me to starting my YouTube channel. So I never would have been able to interact with you guys and everything. So I'm just so grateful that this journey has taken me where it has taken me. Hopefully many more years to come. But I'm just gonna be grateful for what I have. I hope it takes me great places, and only time will tell, right? So basically, yeah. I started out right here, got to here. Once again, this just proves that you have to trust the power of time. Nothing happens automatically. It's taken me 3 years to get to where I am now. Nothing happens just because it doesn't happen because you dream about it. Again, as Mo Farah always says, don't dream about it. I think I saw this quote by Mo Farah that says, don't dream of winning, work for it. And it's true. You're not going to win because you dream of it. That's the thing. Like, you have to just go out and work for it, and it's going to take a long time. You have to just trust the process, and eventually you'll get to, as I did, where you are now. But again, you have to just trust it. First year, I didn't really get anywhere. Second year, it kind of started to click, and then this third year, I'm kind of just carrying that momentum click right into the end of my indoor season, into my outdoor season, and hopefully for many more years to come. I am just so excited to see what happens. It'll be all documented here on YouTube for you guys, and I'm just so excited to see what happens through these next few years with the running. Stick around for more great running content. I'm so excited to post way more about my running career, and all about the stuff I do and the milestones I have. So yeah, that's probably all I have to say for that. Yeah, guys, so that's probably going to do it up for the second and final block of the video, and that's probably going to wrap it up for today's video. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about my running journey from the very beginning of when I started out as a super small just package of waiting to be wrapped and waiting to be unwrapped and opened to where I am now of just being like, I just can't believe that, like, and it just proves that, like, this story just proves that anything's possible. Would I have ever thought back in February of 2019 that I would have been a national champion and have now been to almost three national events? Absolutely not. I wouldn't even have the thought to join Greater Lowell. All the stuff that I have now only happened because of this one story, that one streak list that brought me. That one streak list basically changed my entire life forever. And it's crazy how, like, one event, one day basically changed me from that day on until now and all the way beyond. So it just proves that anything's possible. You guys can do anything you'd like to do. Never let anyone tell you guys otherwise. Always keep running, and never give up. Always dream about your dreams and always work for them. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed that. Stick around to the end of the video for obviously some funny running videos gone wrong, but also some great pictures of before and now today. The pictures are amazing, and you can just see the resemblance, or you can just see the pictures I have from the beginning. I think I have a picture from the very first day I did it, or the very first week or something, maybe the first month, but you can just see the gain from, like, the first week or the first month to now, today, like, from, like, a week ago. So it's just crazy. So make sure you stick around with those photos as well. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Stick around with this quote. I know you guys are going to love it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have fun. Keep running. Never give up on your dreams. And peace out, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the video. So before today's video, I just say I hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about the East Coast Invitational. Oh my god, I need to warm up to this so bad. 1 minutes in that 5K. That was to me now. Alright, guys, in the second and final block of the video. Sorry, I didn't do that quite right.